Oh, I don't pay for suits. My suits are on the house, or the house burns down.
Welcome back to the Red Right Hand Podcast, the show that covers each and every episode of the BBC/Netflix hit show, The Peaky Blinders. I'm Curtis, and with me, as always, on every single episode, people he would not miss it for the world, Josh. What's up, Josh?
What up?
What up?
Finally back.
Yes, can you tell me the last time that we recorded/released an episode of the Red Right Hand Podcast?
I have no idea.
I actually just looked it up before we started recording here. It was the last episode was released. It was Tiny Sode number 7. It was I don't remember what it was entitled, but it was the one where we looked back. We kind of did like a recap of the whole series, and then we also looked back on our very first episode of the Red Right Hand Podcast. Kind of heard some highlights or lowlights, depending on how you want to look at it. But it was released August 8th, 2022. That's almost a year ago. We're coming up on it because we're here in June.
Oh my God.
But dude, to me, it feels like it's been like 3 years
Oh
since
God.
we record. That's just how it feels to me. It just feels like it's been a long time. And
That's
it's
a
weird
really
to
long
think
time.
that, well, and then it's weird to think that season 6 came out well over a year ago then, because it came out on Netflix in June. I think it was in June when it all came out on Netflix. Of course, it aired on BBC back in like February and January of 2022, I think. And then we had to wait. I remember finding out that we had to wait like 3 months before it finally came out, which sucked. But yeah, now here we are, a whole year, almost a whole year later after releasing our final episode. If you haven't heard that one or any of the other episodes in our Red Right Hand Podcast, make sure to go back and re-listen to the whole series and rewatch the show while you're at it. I had a thought too, and maybe I can just run this by you live here on the show, Josh. What do you think about? I don't know, not now, but like maybe a few years down the line, going back, especially if we still don't have a movie, but going back and re-watching the whole series again, and maybe just kind of doing an episode breakdown again, for each episode, but maybe more kind of relaxed since we've already kind of done it a certain way, maybe a little more relaxed, maybe kind of saying, hey, some different things maybe we missed the first time around. Maybe we could do something like that.
Yeah, I'd be down to do that.
Okay, cool, man. So yeah, maybe we'll have something there in the future here in the next couple of years for Red Right Hand Podcast. Like I said, especially if we don't get a movie, which is one of the topics that we're going to be talking about today, Josh.
Yeah,
so let's not.
We're a year removed from anything like from that last season. So
What's the
what's the
word?
timeline here? Yeah,
What's the
it's been a
deets?
year.
Yeah.
What's going on?
So in terms of production, let's just dive on in. So once season 6 came out, it wrapped up, on BBC, and then we had to wait for Netflix to release it a couple of months after that. It got released on Netflix. The plan at that moment was, well, of course, originally it was supposed to be there was going to be a 7th season. That ended up not happening. We had season 6, and then the talk of a possible movie came around, and then after season 6 was released on Netflix and everybody had seen it, word started getting around that there was some ideas in the works from creator Stephen Knight on possibly what he wanted to do. I think he's still, from what I've kind of read, it still sounds like in terms of story, he's still kind of going for that timeline of ending it around the start of World War II, maybe in the middle of it. So that'll be interesting to see, because I know at least with the TV show, his original plan was we start from the end of World War One in 1919, and I want to finish it around the time of the first air raid sirens for World War Two in Britain. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see if he kind of sticks with that um, idea of the story.
But
But
how
good.
far were we? How far were we from that even at the end of the show? Just like it felt like it was
Yeah,
getting pretty
that's
close.
yeah. I mean, what? Let's see. Well, it's been a little bit since I think we kind of decided it was like mid to early 30s when season six, like the time of season six. So air raids would have started in Britain around 39 or 40. Maybe 40. No, it'd be 39 or 40. So it would have still been some time off. Um, but then you think about, okay, well, if they ended up doing a season seven, it's like, okay, well then how much of a time jump are we looking at from season six to season seven? If that's what you're wanting to do. I mean, at some point you would have to, if I'm correct about season six being around um, early 30s, I'd say 33, 34 maybe is my guess. Um, but yeah, go ahead. Up.
Says that the um sixth season begins on December 5th, 1933, as Prohibition is repealed.
Okay.
Do you remember how much time passes like when he leaves them? It's probably like less
No,
than a year, right?
I would say around a year, maybe the
Okay.
less, maybe. So we'll say 33, 34 is when season six wraps up. Um,
It's
so
got to
yeah, I
be,
mean,
if it's December 5th, 1933, it's
oh,
got to
then yeah, yeah,
be
yeah. It's got to be 34, 35
34,
then.
35. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're talking about almost 4 to 5 years of, time jump to where he wants to end it, or where he originally wanted to end it with the first air raid sirens going off. Cause like I said, that'd be like 39 or 40. I want to say 40. Um, look that up real quick here.
I don't know. Just when I pictured the Peaky Blinders movie, I was picturing it like 10 years down the road or something, like not just within a couple years of where season six ends.
Right. And we'll talk a little more about kind of stories here in just a moment. But getting back to production wise, once season six came out on Netflix and people had some time to kind of digest, the ending of it and everything. Like I said, Steve and I had already had some ideas. Um, they had scheduled some time. I think he had talked to somebody um in the media in late 2022 and said that there was some scheduling for shooting to be done within like the next, well, it would have started here in 2023. Now we're halfway through 2023. I mean, there's still some time. But the other thing, I didn't realize this, but Steve Knight is actually currently writing uh a new Star Wars movie. Did you know that?
No.
No, I didn't know he was involved in anything like that at all. So it makes me wonder if the Peaky Blinders project is kind of getting put on the back burner. And I won't be honest with you, man. It's from some of my research and kind of constantly looking over the past, year for any updates. It seems like, the drive is there. It's, obviously there's a call for it. The fans want it and Steven wants it, obviously. But if it almost feels like it's kind of like a passion project that's going to be put on the back burner, for other things. And I mean, it's kind of like that's worrisome, to be honest with you. Um, I don't know. The other thing too is, he's writing the story. You would still have to have a script done and everything, and with you know the writers, and I don't even know, to be honest, if this is would be related or um, directly related to the Peaky Blinders or not, but they still have that writers' strike going on. So I don't know if that would put any barriers to moving forward in this project or not. Like I said, obviously he's writing the story, but you still would have to have a script, and obviously you need a team of people to do that. But I don't know if there would be people that were involved in the strike that he has on that staff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's something else to kind of think about. But I don't know. I hate to say it, but it feels like it's there. It feels like it's going to happen, but it just feels like it's going to be a while before we even get anything,
That just sucks because how are they going to, if it's going to be within just a couple of years of that, how are they going to make it feel believable when these people all look substantially older than they did in the
Yeah, that's
sixth
the bad
season?
part. Yeah, that's the bad part. Um,
I
let's
mean,
talk
many of these
about
people are dead, granted. I guess it's just like Arthur, Tommy, uh,
Isaiah and
Ada.
Ben, Ada.
Oh yeah, Finn's alive. He's
Yeah.
just
See,
banished.
that's one of the things too. People are like, okay, you have got the unresolved deal with Mosley. You have the unresolved thing now with Finn because he's kind of basically on his own, and you would think, okay, he's probably going to want some revenge. Um, and then the whole deal of okay, what's Tommy Shelby's story? Last time we saw him, he rode off on his horse and basically had the sense of freedom of the world basically thinks I'm dead. I can go live a life. I can have a second chance here. I don't have to be that guy that I used to be. I'm free. So in terms of
Well, not though, because he went back to that guy's house
mm,
and told him that he knew, what they did to him, that they tried to make him believe he was sick and all that. And then he lets him live. So,
but that's the thing about it. It's like he tells him all that when he has intentions to kill him. And then the bell tolls and he's reminded of Armistice, the 11th hour of the 11th day for World War One. And so it's almost like a sense for him that it's like I don't have to kill because I'm at peace now. And then to go back to your wagon and it's set on fire, and plus the way that he left his family, I mean, you'd have to think they were thinking, "Hey, this guy's about to kill himself. He's going to go kill himself.
yeah, but at least to his enemies, word is going to get back that he is still alive and out there.
Yeah, I don't know. But
That's
that's the thing.
my like one thing with it is I'm like, yeah, like he left the one guy alive who knew that he was still alive.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's my next point of like the storylines. It's like, would they? I don't know because I've heard at a certain point I'd heard like it was going to be an unrelated Peaky Blinders story, whatever that means. Which, well, I mean, that almost makes you think like it's like okay, brand new characters. We're not even with the Shelby family anymore. It's like, well, then that's not Peaky Blinders,
Yeah.
you know. But the other thing too is my next point, is the possibility of Cillian Murphy returning as Thomas Shelby. So on screenrant.com, author Rias McGinley was
In an
quoted
interview,
saying,
Cillian said, "No fucking way."
no, listen up. Quote, the latest Peaky Blinders movie updates are likely not positive or optimistic news many were hoping for. In May 2023, Cillian Murphy, who of course plays Tommy Shelby, made comments that suggested not only will there be a long wait for the Peaky Blinders movie, but his involvement in it is not as concrete as many thought. Murphy expressed hesitation about returning to the role despite wanting to work with Steve Knight again, stating, quote, if there's more story there, I'd love to do it. but it has to be right, end quote. However, he also expressed satisfaction with how the final season of Peaky Blinders ended things and the pride he has in the series as a whole. This might come as a shock to those who thought the movie and Murphy's involvement was a done deal and who disagree with the assessment that the show's ending doesn't mean a Peaky Blinders movie is necessarily needed. However, there is undeniably demand for more Peaky Blinders. So the fact Cillian Murphy isn't as overtly passionate about returning as many viewers shouldn't be taken as an ill omen. So I don't know. It's the other thing too is to kind of piggyback off this is Cillian Murphy did so he's got Oppenheimer coming up. If it hasn't been released yet, I don't think it's been released yet. Um, dude, I think that's gonna be a really good movie.
Yeah, I actually kind
I'm
of wanted to
real,
see that.
yeah, I'm really interested to see that. But he did a interview with Rolling Stone UK. And if you want to look up the article, it's by Christina Newland. It's called "The Quiet Passion of Cillian Murphy." He talks about through that article just a lot of different stuff. It's a pretty long article. It's about his life, and he did music at one point. Talked about that. He talked about acting in different roles. Obviously, he talked about Oppenheimer. That was the main thing since it's coming out here soon. But he did mention some stuff on Peaky Blinders, and in terms of again going back to this last quote from Screen Rant of saying where did it say? Where'd it go? He expressed satisfaction with how the final season of Peaky Blinders ended things and the pride he has in the series as a whole. So in his interview on Rolling Stone, he's talking about kind of his celebrity status and fame, specifically after Peaky Blinders, because that was his really big break worldwide. He says, quote, "I don't really partake. I don't go out. I'm just at home mostly or with my friends, unless I have a film to promote. I don't like being photographed by people. I find that offensive. If I was a woman and it was a man photographing me," he trails off. Attempting some levity, I point out there are worse things than women fancying me. Quote, "No comment," Murphy replies firmly. I think it's the Tommy Shelby thing. People expect this mysterious, swaggering. It's just a character. I do feel people are a little bit underwhelmed, and that's fine. It means I'm doing my job. Peaky fans are amazing, but sometimes I feel a little sad that I can't provide like that charisma and swagger. He couldn't be further from me, end quote. So kind of talking about fame and the toll that it takes on you, especially when you're specifically categorized by one character. And it was 36 hours worth of television, the all 6 seasons of Peaky Blinders, doing that for when was the first season? When did that come out?
Ugh.
Was it
Um,
2010 or 11? Maybe 12 or 13? I'd say around 10 years of doing this. I mean, that's hard to break away from that. Again, when you're categorized by one character. And we've seen that time and time again from different actors. I mean, gosh,
2013.
2013. Okay, so it's been 10 years since the first season came out. Yeah, it's just you get you get caught up as, like I said, being characterized by one character that you played, and everybody loves that. And especially with like what he was saying outside of acting, it's like he's totally different from that guy that he portrays on TV. And so it's like I almost get this like sense that he doesn't want to do it anymore. He wants to move on with his life and onto the next chapter and not be associated with just this one character.
Yeah.
But then my next question to you is, can you imagine at all a Peaky Blinders movie without Thomas Shelby?
It would feel kind of weird.
Feel like there's just a hole, something missing.
Yeah. I mean, I could see somebody trying to go back later and do like a rebooted TV show that was like maybe either about the gang after, they're all gone, like somebody tries to pick it up, or
Yeah. Well, and we've
I
had
don't
talks
know.
before at one point about possible like spin-offs, and that's a big deal anymore in television series. I didn't realize there's another spin-off from The Walking Dead coming out. It's like how many more of those do we need?
What's that one called?
Um, it's a good question. And I just saw the commercial last night. Dead City. Walking Dead Dead City.
Dead City.
Yeah, it's like, really? Come on, people. How many more of these do we need? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a big popular thing right now is spin-offs. So I could see something like a spin-off. I feel like if you don't do if Thomas Shelby is not a part of it, then you have to do a spin-off. You can't go on, you can't recast. You absolutely can't do that.
No, 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 no.
Um I just feel like then you got to move on with the idea. I mean, if you're gonna continue to do a Peaky Blinders thing, then do some sort of spinoff where it's like, okay, it's this character now. We're looking at this character story or the rise of this person, or how did Curly get a part of the gang? Let's see his story, type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, just something kind of like that would be kind of interesting. But yeah, I can't see a Peaky Blinders movie without Thomas Shelby in whatever sense that would be. Um, Even if it's not like a major role, you know, I think it would be okay.
Yeah. He's
But
pretty much got to be associated with
he's,
it.
yeah, he's got to be associated with it if you're going to do it. So that'll be interesting to see whether he even comes back. So you got, like I said, you got the whole production. Um, Seems to kind of being put on the back burner at times for other things, to the possibility of Cillian Murphy not even being involved in it. So we'll see what happens with that. The final thing I wanted to talk about was if you, Josh, could pick an actor or actors or actress or actresses to play a role in the Peaky Blinders movie, who would it be?
I mean, I don't know. I thought about this a little bit, and everybody that I try in my head to put in there just feels kind of weird.
Like who?
Like, I don't know, just any big name actors. I feel like a lot of the reason that this show worked is because all these people
Run
were
down.
so small time, especially like the first couple seasons. So
Yeah, I agree
I don't
with
know.
that. I agree with that.
I mean, probably the most famous person is the guy whose name I can never remember.
Oh, Sam Neill.
Yeah, Sam Neill.
What movie was he in that we used to talk about?
Jurassic Park.
Good job, buddy. You finally learned it. That's good.
No, I knew the movie he was in. I just
You
could
just
never
didn't realize
remember
that
his
that was
name.
him? Oh, okay. No, you didn't realize that when I first mentioned it in an early episode in this series, you didn't realize that that was him.
I didn't realize that they were both the same guy,
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it is like 20 years or so in between.
He's a lot older. Yeah. And he's got a
Yeah.
mustache
And the
and an
mustache.
and an a very thick Irish accent.
Yeah,
So yeah, big difference there.
he's a good actor.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I had said to you when we were talking about this question the other day that this was this question was inspired from before season 6 happened. I had read that there was a lot of interest from some big name stars like a Brad Pitt, people like that, stature. That's like, yeah, it's
That
not
would
like,
feel so fucking weird. This is not a
yeah, it
Marvel
just like,
movie.
right. Well, not even that. It's just like the deal is like you said, it's this show was built off of actors who were very small time. They were unknown. They weren't big names like a Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And so to throw somebody like that in there, even as like a small cameo role, even just like that would feel weird.
But it works to throw in like these mid-level actors like Sam Neill, like Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean she was only in for like 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
one
but it works, the
right.
guy, I can never remember his name either. The guy who plays Shane in Gangs of New York.
I was just about to say that's the one though that, and I think we agree
That
with
was so
it.
disappointing.
Yeah, they need to have they should have did a better job of casting him for a better or like a better character. I mean, that just seemed like that was just really disappointing, like you said.
Yeah.
He could have been a lot could have had a better role, is what I'm trying to say. He was good as an actor. He's a good actor, but yeah, he should have been given a better role than that. It just
Yeah.
seemed like such like a throwaway piece,
It really was. Yeah.
and that's the disappointing part.
It was the biggest
Um,
slap in the face of the season.
yeah. I think one name that I have heard that is a possibility for the movie that's kind of a big name is Tom Holland. How you feel about that one?
Eh,
Eh,
it might be okay. I see. I could maybe be okay. I don't know. I could maybe be okay with like a him or Timothy Chalamet.
I was just about to ask, what about Timothy Chalamet?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Have you seen Dune?
No, not yet.
Dude,
Second one's coming out, isn't it?
yes. You gotta watch it. It is so good.
It's on HBO, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Well, already.
What about
You
you?
got
Did
any?
you have anybody that you could see
Well, the only
being in
so
there?
I had three written down. Timothy Chalamet was one of them. Um, I put down Daniel Day-Lewis. Now he hasn't been anything in forever. He's retired. I don't know what the heck he would do, but that's a good actor though. Um,
I mean, he's a
and he's
great actor. I don't know where he would play in.
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm kind of like I just don't really know where he would play though. Uh, I don't know. He probably could have made a good like enemy or whatever. Kind of like what's his name? Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
Adrian Brody, man. That was a good character. Luca.
Yeah.
The other guy I was thinking of was and I
Seth
don't know his
Rogen.
oh my God. Jim Carrey. Uh,
Hey Tommy, we
um
got the money.
I don't know what his real name is, but the guy who played Rob Stark, what's his name?
Yeah, I don't remember
I
the
can never
actor's
remember what
name.
his name is.
I only know him from that and from the the Marvel movie.
Eternals.
Yeah, Eternals.
Yeah. Yeah, I can never remember what his name is. I think he is British though.
No, I think he's Irish.
Is he Irish? Okay. What's the diff? No, I'm just kidding.
It's Richard Madden.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, those are the three names that I could think of. So I don't know. I mean, I'm with you. I think it's this. The show was built off the backs of.
I could see Richard Madden fitting in.
Okay.
Like just looking at him not as Rob Stark. Like I could
Right.
I could see that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. the show was, like you said, the show was built off the backs of lesser known actors and actresses, and they made it their own. It was their own baby. That's what they're known for. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely don't want to see somebody like a Brad Pitt, you know.
No.
Dear God, no. Um, Jamie Foxx? Yeah. I don't know. I was just thinking like the most random one. But yeah, that's what I have for this episode. Short, sweet, to the point.
So nothing. That's what you're telling me.
So basically, I have nothing.
There's no
Yeah,
news.
I mean, no news is some news, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, there's really nothing. There's really nothing there. Yeah, so this episode was more our speculation, and yeah, you just wasted your life.
Dear God.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, there's light, there's a light of hope at the end of the tunnel, but it seems pretty dim. Like I said, it just seems like there's a lot of other things kind of coming before it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think
I don't know, man.
honestly there's more of a possibility that it will get rebooted in some form or another in a few years rather than there being a
Why?
movie.
They could just leave it be.
Because they're not going to be able to get all these people to go along with it, you know?
No, I understand that, but if you're gonna do that, it's like then just leave it. Then just leave it be and let it die. Don't beat the
Cash
dead
grab.
horse, man. Yeah,
Cash
I
grab.
know, and
Rights
that's
are going to run out. Somebody else is going to
what
buy the
pisses
rights
me
to it.
off, man. That's what
Amazon's going to
pisses
be
me
pumping
off.
out some $500,000 an episode show.
Put a bullet in my brain. I will not be watching that. It's ridiculous.
You didn't love
Yeah.
Rings of Power? I did.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. No, I loved it.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it yet. No, I'm
A lot
just
of people
saying in
hate it. I
terms
thought it
of
was great.
no, I'm just saying in terms of like reboots. I don't like reboots. I hate the fact that money rules the world, man.
Reboot, reboot.
I hate it. I hate it so much, dude. It's ridiculous.
I was about to die, and my first thought was, at least I don't have to go to work tomorrow. Oh my God. What have they done to us? What did they do to us?
Let's get on out of here, man. I think we've wasted the people's time enough. So let's get out of here.
The important thing is, if you want more Peaky Blinder content right now, you need to follow us over on Twitch at GhostLad676, where we can do some Peaky Blinders. I think it's Mastermind gameplay. I have not played any of it. So
Well, get on it, bro. Get on it. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. Let's stop talking about it. Let's do it.
well, let's see some love for it.
Yeah. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at IsSurvivedByPro for the news and latest episode postings, not just on this show, but our other shows as well. We have the History of the Course podcast, which covers topics like bands from the core genre. Any core genre. Like Josh said just a little bit ago on a different episode, it's not just about Canadian bands, people. We don't know how we got on the Canadian bands. It's up for topic. We're discussing it right now. But I believe Josh is the culprit, and it's his fault that we got onto Canadian invasion. But yeah, we've had fun talking about Hoser Core, but it's time to move on. I think. I don't know.
Move on.
All right. You also have the History of the Core's After Hours podcast, which is where I sit down with my good friend and avid listener, Eric, and we talk about the bands that me and Josh talk about on the History of the Core's podcast. You also have the Throne of the Dragon podcast, which so far has covered season 1 of House of the Dragon, soon to be season 2, and we are currently in the middle of our Aegon the Conqueror series, so definitely go check out that. Also, while you're on Twitter, make sure to follow my co-host at Joshua Lynn Gary. It's right there below him. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review and write us a comment on whatever podcast service you're using. All right, I'm throwing this one back to you. It was fun doing it, but this is your thing now, so I'll let you have it again. If you want to listen to us and see this creepy face that's coming at you right now, head on over to our YouTube page. Just search Is Survived by Productions, and that'll have every episode from all of our shows. Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video. That'll do it. Have no clue when we'll be back. Maybe we'll see you in another year. How about that? We'll see you in a year. That seems like a good timeline, right?
Hopefully there'll be another one before that.
Yeah, hopefully so. But until then, make sure to go check out the other shows that we have. Throne of the podcast. Throne of the podcast. Throne of the Dragon podcast, History of the Cores, and the After Hours podcast. But until next time, we will see you.